Today's Cosplay Con Talk episode is sponsored by Moco Queen Color Contacts. Don't forget to use my code Wayne for 10% off at checkout at mocoqueen.com. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Known here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I'm once again joined by regular co-host Bob Greenwade, also known as, if I'm not mistaken, is it One-Eyed Cosplay? One-Eyed Cosplay, for a new segment which I I wanted to I wanted to do now since it's been 3 years since Cosplay Con Talk's past 3 years now since Cosplay Con Talk's first episode. And the very first segment we did for this was get to know that cosplayer, which is originally on Geeking Out. So now I'm going to be doing a segment called Get to Know That Cosplay Revisited, where I will have cosplayers who have been on this segment before come on and talk about what it's been like, you know, since they've been on the show, what kind of cosplays they've done since they've been on, what cons they've gone to, what stuff they've learned since then. Kind of like when we did the 100th episode special for Cosplay Con Talk Loud.
Oh,
Was the 1 year. I think it was it was 1 year.
just about a year ago.
No, it was the 100th episode. That's not the anyway. So for Cosplay Con Talk being on for 3 years, I figured again do Cosplay Con Talk, get to that cosplayer revisited. I'm taking up too much time. Bob. So since Cosplay Con Talk, um, since your first interview, how's the cosplaying conventions been going for you?
Well, I've had a bit of a change in finances as far as how I'm paying for these things and so forth. So I'm not going to be going as often as I was up to about a year ago. But I've been to several conventions, a couple that I probably won't be going to for reasons that have nothing going back to for reasons that have nothing to do with the conventions themselves, but more with finances and similar matters. Um, and I've gotten to meet all sorts of new friends. I have joined the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers and been a contributor there. And
Nice, the one that Joel and Becca are part of.
yes, yes,
Nice.
and I've gotten to have a few, couple of fairly recognizable cosplays too.
Nice. So it's been 3 years um since you've been on, and you're still cosplaying to this day. How's that been? Still cosplaying to this day, especially for someone who's you how long have you been cosplaying for now? Because I know last time we talked, I think you've only been doing it for a year, I think.
I had just gotten started just before the pandemic and had one other opportunity after the pandemic before the interview. So I was like, I was still pretty much a newbie at that point. And now I've been to several conventions and have, I think, almost a dozen different cosplays that I can dig into in my closet when I need to. So um, not quite a veteran, but I'm not a newbie anymore either.
So you've been like what? Has it been 3 years now? I think.
Uh, if we count, if we count if we go through my first and just say calendar years, I would say 4.5 because I started at Rose City 19.
Okay, so yeah, 4 years. So in 6 more years, you'll be, as I put it, a cosplay veteran, cosplaying for, 10 plus years.
Yeah, so um, yeah, just at this point, not a newbie anymore.
No, not a little baby anymore. You're like you've got a feel for it, not just for going to a lot of conventions in the Pacific Northwest, but you've done a lot of cosplay since, and especially if anyone's familiar with Bob, he's known for like a lot of mashup cosplays.
Not so much mashup as just offbeat cosplays. I was just assessing those the other day on your Discord server, in fact, and I've only just done my third actual mashup cosplay.
Oh, nice. What was it?
Um, It was a sort of Adam's Family Star Wars mashup. Darth Fester.
Darth Vader. I was like, when I saw the Darth Vader with like the electrical powers, like that's I love that idea. Have you done that yet, or do you plan on doing it?
I did it at Emerald City just this last weekend,
I can't wait to see it.
and this was like Murphy's Law. Just like everything that could go wrong with that went wrong. I had
No
help with,
mishap.
I ruined the first cloak that I got, but I had somebody to try to repair it and also sew buttons and everything on the tabards and sash like I have on my Jedi Elvis. But I miscommunicated, and so the buttons on the sash got on the wrong side,
Oh,
and um, so that part went wrong, and there was some miscommunications and misunderstandings between me and the makeup artist that I was working with. And so uh and then she was having a really disorganized weekend, almost as bad as mine. So this was just like the worst. This is like my big cosplay horror story. This is a big train wreck, but we're going to try again. um, my makeup artist Emma has promised that next time you're going to look flawless. Um, but it was good enough for me to go out for cosplay karaoke on Sunday as Darth Fester, one of two sessions that they had at Emerald City, and for that one I sang "Lovely Day."
nice. So, how many conventions have you gone to since, now, like for the past 4 years, like since your interview, um, back in 2021, how many conventions have you gone to thus far?
Oh, let's see. Um, Trying to think. Let's see. Been to NorwestCon once, Washington State SummerCon twice, um, three more Emerald Cities, I think. Um, Mid Valley Comic Arts Expo once, two C3 Game Cons,
Ooh, fancy.
and there's been one photography meetup, and those are what I can remember offhand right now. So I think it's like close to a dozen in the past
That
3 years.
that's not that's honestly that's not that's oh that's pretty cool that you've gone
I
to
have
so many cons within like 3 years. That's quite a bit.
I have more spare time than most people have time on the clock. So um, being disabled slash retired. So I'm able to, I don't have to, worry about taking time off work or anything like that. That my big problem generally is finding affordable lodging. And
That
uh, and
that
now
can
that I'm
be
going to have to pay for most of it myself because of the change in finances, that's going to be even harder.
that usually can do it.
Yeah. So I have found a way for this year's summer con, which is neat because I'm gonna set out to see D. Bradley Baker.
Ooh, voice
And
pretty much all the clones in Star
yeah,
Wars.
he's all the clones, and of course Wrecker is on my radar for a cosplay to do sometime in the future.
Well, if you ever do record, let me know because I plan on doing Commander Cody in the future. So
Hmm. Uh, and
cool.
I'm also going to try between now and June to get my Kakashi Hatake cosplay because the guy who does the voice is making a rare convention appearance at SummerCon this year.
I saw that. I saw SummerCon posting about that and their other two upcoming cons, Washington Anime and the Washington Gaming Expo. Oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Also, real side note for those who are watching, these recaps aren't as going to be as long as a podcast. These are more of a catching up and see how they're doing type thing.
yeah, this is um, probably this one will be the longest recap because I tend to go on a bit.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I like that these can go on, but like, let's see here. I should have written stuff down in my book, knowing that I was gonna do, but I don't like scripts. I mean, I have nothing against scripts. It's just if I write a script, I'm gonna forget. That's why we ad lib all our content. Let's see here now. So 4 years. Um, any favorite cosplays that have stood out since then? Some of your
There
favorites?
have been a few. The one new one that I seem to I both other people and I have really responded well to this, and that is my War Doctor cosplay.
Oh yeah, I saw your and rest in peace to John Hurt.
Yes.
I think that's like I saw like that got a lot of reception and everything, especially trying to get his hair just right. Cause I know he has his hair is a little bit spiked.
He has his hair is up in a faux hawk, which, as you can tell, um, my hair is very difficult to comb that way. So that's why I have the wig for that. But I took that into C3 GameCon's cosplay contest and um, went about documenting every purchase I made along the way from that, from the wig to the boots, and what I did to distress most of it to make it look bad. And some of the things just don't distress. For some reason, I could not make the waistcoat or the shirt or the scarf look bad. And I never thought I'd be so unhappy to have bought high quality clothing before, but I kind of needed it to be able to look like crap. But nonetheless, everything else has aged nicely and artificially. And
So
after turning all that in and listing off all everywhere where I got all these things from, you know, each item from a different maker, if not a different vendor, I ended up getting an honorable mention as most resourceful on the contest,
really, was
which
this
is
your
my first. This was my first, and probably it's the highest I really ever expect to get on some of my cosplays. But um, it's it was it was pretty cool. It seemed one of the judges seemed like he was determined to give me something as I was going out of the interview, and that's what I got.
so would that was that your first time entering a cosplay contest, or if you have entered cosplay contest again since the
That was my third time. Um, I never entered really expecting to win. I was in the cosplay contest at the first C3 Game Con where I brought my redneck bunny Fufu.
which I think, my honest opinion, that's probably my favorite one. The fact that you go all out for him with, the fur arms, the hat, the ears, the mask. The, I think was it a baseball bat prop you have too?
Yeah, baseball bat, foam baseball bat with yarn barbed wire around the end. You can't
Mhm.
see that on the most recent picture. And then, of course, there's two new additions to my most recent photo that I just got at Emerald City. I decided to take the Ward Doctor's bandolier and add a little detail with it. The carrots. And I'm going to try and find the picture over here that I just. Here we go. And are you going to go? There we go. And of course, for the new one, instead of wearing the mask with the bunny face on it, I put temporary dye in my soul stash.
Looking at it right. I'm looking at the thing right now. Well, I'm waiting for it to load. Oh yeah, all the carrots, the bandolier with the carrot. And like I said, the diva hat with the bunny ears. And
Mhm.
is that your Tim Conway wig?
No, that's a white mullet.
Okay.
And a detail that nobody really notices right away. In fact, nobody's noticed yet unless I pointed it out. But the belt buckle is a skull with a big open mouth, and it actually functions as a bottle opener. And as soon as I saw that online, I said, "Yes, that is as redneck as it can get. I have to have that one for this cosplay."
Oh, again, it seems like you've just been enjoying doing this. I
This is
know. Okay, sorry. Oh, did I lose connection with you?
no, I had somebody trying to call on my landline, and it's kind of a bad moment here because I'm on with you. Okay,
What's going on?
it's dealt.
Hey.
The necklace is the one part that I made myself. You can't see it in that picture. It is in the pretty visible in the older one, the one that I got done in um, 21. And there
So
you can
have
see the contrast with that there.
oh, okay. Oh yeah, there's like a definite difference between yeah, because you're wearing the mask. Yeah, that one's with the mask and that one's without. Yeah, there's definitely a big difference for sure.
Yeah, and those two things are the only substantial differences: the bandolier and um, the dyed facial hair instead of the mask. But the having the mask off helps me use my facial expressions a little bit more swagger um, to the character.
Let's see here.
So I'm occasionally getting upgrades to my costumes, and of course getting new pictures with them as it comes along, which Bayonet Triple Click is always happy to have happen.
Shout out to Triple Click again.
Yep.
Probably one of the coolest, you know, probably the most frequent mentioned person on this channel is Triple
Yeah.
Click. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask. Have you learned any new tips and tricks when it comes to cosplaying since?
Um, just basically just well, in my particular wheelhouse, which is online shopping. Um, I've been, ever since I've gotten access to good broadband, which has been like 20 years or so. I've been good at um, finding just the right item, um, just the right news article or research piece of research or whatever that I need for whatever purpose, and that's in these two cosplays there that we're looking at, Bunny Fufu and the War Doctor. Those are basically what I call collected cosplays,
All right,
where I
so
have things for each thing from a different vendor. I mean, look at the War Doctor there. The wig is from Arda. That
Ardo is really
Arda
good web.
wigs. That's my first Arda wig.
Oh, that's like I like how. So how long did it take you to dye your beard and everything?
Um, about 5 to 10 minutes. It's temporary
What?
hair dye. This is something else. This is something else I have found, and I'll show you all my jars of it, or at least the ones that I have on hand.
I've
Um,
been looking at wanting to get some temporary hair dye, and I think especially if you don't want to like dye your beard and then shave it off, I think temporary hair dye is a pretty good trick.
it's the
A
only
lot of
way I would do that. Yeah, it's silver. It's Mofajang, if I remember right, is the brand.
okay,
Silver on the War Doctor. That's white that I use for Bunny Fufu, and of course there's
Zoot.
the blue one
Um,
for Zoot, and red for Amphibian.
no, because we did talk about this last time, and this actually now gives me new questions to ask when bringing them up about skills you've learned and everything. Would you recommend someone do like a little? Because I know sometimes people can be allergic to, because in a way, temporary dye is like a paint, like you would like, because you put it on your body in a sense. Do you recommend someone who has a beard to like do a little like how you can do like the little makeup test to make sure you're not have allergic reaction?
Yeah.
Would you recommend like a little spot test just to make sure that their beard doesn't become itchy or dry and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
it would not have occurred to me to say, because I have like the only allergy I have is to the grass on your lawn and hay fever.
Right.
But So, I have not had problems with latex or any medications or anything. So it wouldn't occur to me. It's just not in my experience. So it didn't get in my brain that way. But yeah, that would be a good idea, is to just like get a little bit on an area that isn't going to be visible. But also it's important to note that these temporary hair dyes will affect different kinds of hair in different ways.
That's
Because
right.
that blue there, that um, that you see on Zoot, now
Yeah.
that is a wig. And I got
Oh,
lucky that it almost exactly matches the wig, because I initially tried it on this hair
mhm.
and it looks really, really crappy. It made my hair look horrible and stringy and just
Well,
ugly.
I know, depending on the type of facial hair you have and like the color, because I know sometimes the darker, like if you have a dark beard and you try to put like white, if you want to go like it's Geralt, you're gonna need to put more on it because sometimes it's not easy when you have a darker facial hair. But if like a little bit brighter, then it'll be easier in a sense. Because like for you, you have light facial hair, put it on like darker colors, make it easier.
It's not so much the color as the respective texture of the two types of hair. Because if I remember right, there are six types of hair that you have on your body. And your
Sure,
beard
sure.
and the scalp hair are two different types. And then when you get down past this part, there's another type on your chest. Um, and then there's another type on your underarms and another type a little further down. And those are all different types of hair that that may or may not respond differently to a particular type of hair dye. So when I dye my soul stash, or in the case of the war doctor, my beard, that responds well. When I try to dye my scalp hair, it turns into a stringy mess, and the color is kind of okay. But it's the texture of the hair that really kind of makes the difference.
I imagine it can be a pain.
It can be a major pain, but that's why I bought that wig that I have for Zoot. And I was fortunate that the color matched and that it looks so perfectly Zoot like. Um, but I basically, he wears the same style of hair that I do.
Let's see here. I guess time ask him re-ask some old questions. Well, some old, not all of them, because again, this is a recap.
Yeah.
Um, what's been your favorite cosplay so far since then that you've done
Um,
since this interview? I
well,
mean,
let me
since
see. Uh, I'm looking at the list of the photos I've had taken. Because it really, the three of them that I've shown, and several of the others, are all ones that I've had like loads of fun in. Um, and the and different for different reasons. So it's a little bit hard. And none of them are like um comfortable year round, simply because we have such variable weather.
yeah.
Um, I put one up here that is worth a special mention at this point. Mm. And that one I got at SummerCon
Oh yeah, Darkwing
22.
Duck. I remember you've been it's a project you've been like in the midst of because I know you met Jim Cummings when
Yep,
that
and
was.
I did the voice for him too. I am the terror that flops in the night. I am the sharp little pebble in the shoe of crime. And he said, "That's pretty good." That's how he
Jim
said it too. I got
Jim
to I got to
very
chat
good.
him up just in generally on that about that, and also his great Star Wars character Hondo Onaka.
Yeah, I know you're also in the process. Speaking of future cosplays, I know you're in the process of wanting to do Hondo Anaka from Star Wars.
at some point I do want to do that. Right now I have all the materials for the clothing.
Ooh,
Have to put together the shirt and the coat.
yeah.
Have to figure out how to do the helmet, and of course there's the head makeup.
Which I know is it can be a lot of it can be a lot of work.
Yeah, the that makeup is I'm looking at that being a lot of work and probably being worth it, but I have two Star Wars cosplays already, the Jedi Elvis and the Darth Fester, which I am glad has no existing photographs. If anybody happens to have taken a photograph of me in that as at Emerald City, by the way, please destroy it. Um,
No, nothing.
yeah, but I am going to go give that again go again. And then there's Hondo Onaka, and I have an original character that I want to do. Um, a a an
Is
Order 66 survivor.
ooh, oh, like Jedi
Jedi, yeah,
or
Order 66 survivor.
oh, nice.
Um, who was working at the archives at the time of Order 66, managed to
Ooh,
escape with very important holocron.
that
Um,
would that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
'Cause
and of course the story that I wanted to write a sort of fanfic story where we get this very serious recap of everything that happened in his life up until Order 66. And then the chapters along the way, he's meeting like C3PO, Jar Jar Binks, Hondo Onaka, um, Tekken Wrecker, and just anybody he can have comical adventures with during the Imperial period, and until finally he's on the Cloud City and takes the realize he's being broken in on, so he takes the holocron, sticks it into a cantono, hands it to a friend of his, and says, "Run, Wilro, run!"
let's see here. So we talked about cosplay, some of the cosplays you've done.
Hmm.
Um, now on to and the cosplays you plan on doing further on. Yeah,
Some of
because
the
I know
cosplays I plan on doing.
some of the cosplays you plan on doing. Let's see here. We talked about your favorites. We talked about the ones you're doing. Well, we're skipping right along the cosplay part, and we skip future cons, like cons you're hoping to go to this year,
Um,
if the budget allows it.
yeah, as budget allows. Well, this year I'm only definitely planning on Rose City and SummerCon. Um, Komori, I'm not committing to, although I would like to. Next year, first 3 months, I'm not doing anything in the way of conventions, because February would have been my 40th wedding anniversary, so I'm doing a special remembrance at that time. May or may not go. Let's see, allowing for lodging, I might be willing to go to Mid Valley Comic Arts Expo next year.
That'd be nice.
Although right now I'm only really planning next year having SummerCon and Rose City, and those two plus Fan Expo and C3 GameCon are going to be like um my annual regular conventions, depending on
Which
how everything works out.
which brings me to a question I always ask on here. Advice, real quick. Advice when it comes to budgeting for someone who's wanting to travel for a con, whether it's even like your hometown cons. You're still trying to figure out how to get there and everything.
Yeah. The one thing that I've seen as far as budgeting, worry about lodging first. That is going to be your most expensive thing.
And got
Um,
too, pending if you
Other
drive.
things being equal, I would recommend going to an Airbnb over a hotel. Because simply because an Airbnb will generally have a kitchen where you can bring and cook your own food for a lot less than you would eating out at a restaurant.
Oh
And
yeah, no.
that doesn't mean you can't go out to a restaurant. It just means that um, eating in there at stuff you've made yourself is an option. I did that. I did an Airbnb just now at Emerald City, and um, the price there was only a little less than the hotel, but food was like cost me like half of what it might have otherwise.
That's honestly not bad.
And that's
Um,
counting that I had a couple of the meals at the convention. Um, so that are two things that I would um, definitely consider. Also, this is also one reason that I like warm weather cons over cold weather cons, is because the warm weather cosplays tend to be smaller and lighter and able to fit more into a suitcase. Um, you know, I used to tease my wife when we saw a luggage set. She was 4'8", and I say we need to get two of those, the small one for you and the large one for your clothes. Um, but um, um, and with that note, may I just say hello, Vivsite. Anyway,
uh,
the worry about packing things and try and get everything into as little as possible. And if you're carrying any kind of awkward props, um, Amtrak is your buddy. Do not,
yes.
yeah, flight. I just flew for Emerald City, and um, there right there about the I had the worst experience trying to get home of just about anything I have ever had in my life.
I mean, it doesn't
I
all
don't
set
want
up
to go into details on that. I'll do that some other time.
that
But
that that we'll discuss that when we do a traveling
yeah.
panel. Let's see here. You answered that. You answered. You talked about your mishap slash horror story. Um, did you talk about your favorite moment so far, like your favorite convention moment thus far?
Well, mentioned I've mentioned one, but I've let's see. Yeah, the one with Darkwing Duck. But then at the Emerald City, I had another one. Remember I mentioned there were two cosplay karaoke's, and I
Oh, that's
went to
right.
both of them. The
Nice.
second, and I mentioned, Darth Fester. I did "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers.
Mm-hmm. I remember that
the
one.
uh, the first one though was on Friday evening. That one I was the war doctor. I was second from last for the evening, and I brought down the house with Uptown Funk.
I think honestly, cosplay karaoke. I mean, I would never do it because I mean, hosting like going up on stage and announcing cosplayers is one thing, but going up on stage and singing in front of people, that's an entirely different thing. I don't know if I would ever want to do that.
Well, music was my college major,
Not to mention you're also
and although I was mostly an instrumentalist playing saxophone, that's part of what drew me towards Zoot. But I think, just my own opinion, I think I was probably the second best performance up there after this kid, I think, who was probably about 12, who did a rap by Crisscross. I don't remember what it was called, but he did not look at the screen and he completely killed it. And the gal after me, we had to close down, and these were all chosen. The order was chosen at random, and the gal after me did "Don't Stop Us Now" and did a nice job at that one too.
nice. Let's
Another one, and I've had two interesting things going on with my sixth Doctor cosplay at two different conventions.
picture. I'll definitely be sure to post these. I see. I like, and you almost look like him too.
In the face, yeah, I look a little like Colin Baker. Somebody mentioned that to me when I first started talking about maybe dressing up that way, and so I've just decided to run with it. And really the costume is what sold me on the character in the first place when I first saw it.
I mean,
But
every like their own unique.
two incidents with that one. One was at the I went to Norwest Con, and that's where I first wore this one. And there's a guy that goes around with this remote control life says Dalek.
Oh, I've seen him. I've heard of him.
Yes,
You know, like
yes.
on Instagram and TikTok.
Well, I walked around the corner in that outfit, and the Dalek starts coming at me and says, "It is the doctor must be exterminated, exterminate." And it kind of took me by a little by surprise at first because I didn't know what to make of it. And then I collected myself and I had this, for me, very rare moment of quick thinking. I said what I've always wanted to say to a Dalek: "You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means."
If you have, if you have, do you have video of that?
I wish if I get a chance to, I will try and reenact it just to
Uh,
get that. I give it to everybody who does convention recaps. By the way, his response was inconceivable.
let's see. We're gonna wrap it up here soon.
Oh, the other one with this one was at Rose City. I think it was last year. Um, it was last year or the year before. I don't remember. It was when Sylvester McCoy was there, and he was going around. He took the questions himself, grabbing the wireless mic and running around the auditorium to each person so that he could get his steps in.
mhm.
I was the third person he went to, and I was standing there just waiting. And he looks up and says, he pulls up stops about 25 feet ahead of me, short of me. He says, "Colin, what are you doing here?" Yeah, well, I came to see you, of course. And first of all, may I just say that I wore this outfit better than you ever did? And he's with the mic. And then he took a couple of moments later on in the panel to just kind of troll me and call instead. "Colin, I was in the Hobbit. Good for you." And
Oh,
he
sorry.
was
He
great
played his he
fun.
played his Radagast.
He was Radagast in Lord of the Rings. I mentioned that one. Yeah. So
Uh,
um, I can see if I can find uh, um, the picture that I have with him. Let's see.
while you're doing that,
Oh,
I
here we
got
go.
one. Yeah, one more question.
Okay.
Because I didn't ask you last time because I didn't even think of the question until like last year because someone read another interview we brought it up. What kind of impact has cosplay had on you thus far since you've been doing it for almost 4 years now?
Um, it has been a nice creative outlet for me. Um, I've also been able to like meet new people and make a lot of new friends through this. And just find ways to outlet a lot of my creative juices, and also take that wheelhouse that I mentioned earlier of being able to find new stuff and help other cosplayers find the right thing for their cosplays, just the right sewing pattern or just the right product.
And it seems like it's been worth it. Like
Yeah.
it's really, done a lot for you.
Yeah, it's got given me a chance to travel and see things. And yeah, what you're looking at is a picture that I posted of Katie Sackhoff being a real sport.
I love
And what the only bad thing about that is her Gookie is a lot better than mine. But it's hard
it.
for me to tell when my eyes are properly crossed too. So
um, last one. Any last minute advice you want to throw out there for those who are listening and are watching this?
um well, let's see. I mentioned earlier um about the travel things, but one thing, um if you're thinking about you know, one thing I haven't mentioned before, if you're thinking about cosplaying and you're afraid that getting out there, you will just look stupid, just remember that you're listening to right now a 62-year-old man who dresses up as a giant bunny rabbit. So, um, and for that matter, one of my most popular cosplays um, from Emerald City, even though I was only in the building for about 2.5 hours, was consisted of an Eeyore onesie.
I saw your Eeyore, and
So
I definitely want to.
I had the yeah um the mirror selfie that I took, but I am planning to take that back probably probably at Rose City this year. Not 100% sure, but I'm
Yeah, not much
want to
more
take
muscular.
some of my hair dye, some of the temporary hair dyes, mix them up,
Uh-huh.
see if I can match the pink that is on the inside of the ears, and then get blue face paint for that to match the regular part. So it all kind of goes becomes part of the part of the Eeyore.
Which reminds me, I need to do a find people to come on to do a ECC recap because I saw a lot going on this year
Yeah,
on
I'll be
TikTok.
done for that Emerald City recap for
Sweet.
sure. Because there were I didn't get to go to a lot of the a lot of the goings on outside of the those two cosplay karaoke's. That did get to see quite a bit and evaluate what was going on.
Yeah, I saw a lot going on. I'm like, one of these days we'll go to ECC. One of these days we'll have the money. One of these days we'll take the plane there.
Yeah,
Um,
but that Bunny Foo Foo baseball bat did create some problems both ways. One way I checked it, and the other way I didn't, and there was both of them were problems.
it happens, you know, with props cosplays, especially. I know, like when it comes to big props, there's always gonna be a lot more. There's gonna be a lot of issues with big props that I think anyone who's been on here can attest having
Yeah,
big problems.
I think if
Um,
I ever fly for that for cosplay again, if I can't fit everything into one suitcase, everything into one suitcase, I'm going to go over to the UPS store in my neighborhood and see how much it would cost to have it shipped.
oh yeah, you're gonna have to like
Like,
ship it in advance for sure, like a day or two before. Like,
yeah, a ways before to wherever I'm staying, or you were talking about conventions I would like to go to. I have my bucket list of conventions.
hmm
Um, and the big ones really for me are Gallifrey One,
hmm
um, um, San Diego Comic Con.
one of the most talked about cons on this channel,
Oh yeah, this is like
aside from
that is like the big
aside
daddy of them all.
aside from Dragon Con.
Awesome Con in Washington D.C., which is Rose City's sister con, and of course Dragon Con.
Oh yeah, no, Dragon Con is like probably the most. San Diego Comic Con and Dragon Con are probably the most two talked about
Mhm.
conventions
So
on this.
if I ever go to Dragon Con, I am only going to pack the first day's cosplays,
hmm
and I'm going to have everything else shipped to the Smooth Cosplayer's house.
I was gonna say you may get a chance to meet Myron,
Yes,
another.
and this is his way of finding out. Watching this video will be his way of finding out that I'm going to do that. But it's still years away. So
Oh yeah, no.
because my big I will tell you now, my big ultimate cosplay project that I want
Mhm.
to do someday, I may never get to. I'm crossing my fingers that I do. I call it AFAB. It is the Autobot version of Fab One from Thunderbirds. You know the pink car
hmm
on Thunderbirds.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Uh,
Oh yeah, and from Greece.
what?
You said Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds. I'll see if I can find a picture of it on my Pinterest.
Why you're doing that?
Okay.
Uh, since you know, since now I ask everyone now. Care to drop those links below so people can find you on the social medias if they want to stay up to date with your conventions or cosplays that you plan on going or doing.
The best place to find my stuff is is through my link tree link, which is One Eyed Cosplay. And
Now that you know. now that I'm gonna probably be doing more of these recaps, and now that I know what to ask because I did think anything through as I normally do with these segments. I never.
Well, everything was
um,
on there. I think you mentioned some. I think you've also mentioned a question about like one and done and that kind of thing. So let's
yeah,
see. The good.
I mean, like, the one and done's. I mean, we discussed that. I may when I yeah. I apologize, everyone who's listening or watching this. Making an ass of myself. Oh, um, I think that should do it. I'll be sure to add that picture though too in post.
Yeah. The which one? The Fab
The,
one.
the Fab one. If you have like
I'm just posting in a link to the Pinterest board with it,
oh,
and so you can see it for yourself. I tried posting pictures, but none of them would take.
usually will show me like a picture. Will not show me a picture. And I'm afraid if I click that, I'll like get exited out of Zoom.
Oh yeah, I know how that is since you're on the phone. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I don't want to. I think that should do it. Bob, thank you for coming on and being the returning guest for Get to Know That Cosplayer Revisited. As always, I am Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.
Peace out.